Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another Mixed Media Mayhem. Today we actually have an inspiration piece, and that usually happens on the last Friday of the month, sometimes during the week as well, but definitely, or during the month as well, but definitely on the last Friday. That piece was created by Seattle Sherry, and I'm combining it with Color Craze today using this color palette. I have a single photo, she has a single photo. My photo's a little larger, so you're not going to see as much of the mixed media as she has in hers, but that's okay. I'm using a Catherine Pooler ink called Twilight, and I'm adding some water to it right on top of my media mat, and I'm going to go for a horizontal line across, and so that is why I stamped it down in a horizontal manner, and then I'm just picking up all of that with my paper, and now I'm going to go with a vertical line because she's kind of got a T intersection on hers. And so I'm doing the same thing. I kind of keep my paper a little bit bent so that it just picks it up in the area that I want. And I'm liking how that looks. I am going to add a little bit more so it's a little less splotchy. I wanted to add a little more that is maybe a little more watercolory instead. And so spraying a little bit of extra water on my mat and then just picking it up. And I like the way that is looking. I pulled out my large hex punch, and this is the larger of the two that I have. I don't know if they make a larger one. If they did, I would love that as well. But this is the largest one I have, and I think it's a really good size. So I'm going to just punch out of a bunch of papers that I had in my scrap bin using several of the blues. And then I did also punch that one that has like the red corrugated looking pattern to it, but I'm not going to use that one. The red in that one is a little too orange. It goes great with the photo because of the hand in the stop sign behind us, and I think one of the buildings has that color on it. But my husband's shirt is more towards the blue reds, and so is my title piece. So I'm going to swap those pieces out and pull in a different paper. I did back my photo with the same paper that has the blue mixed media on it. That was just leftover mixed media from another project. And so I punched what I could out of it and then used it to back my photo. And now I am using a couple of different blues out of my sprays. I am using Night Media Gloss Spray. Night is the name of it. And it's like a navy blue, and it's super pretty, you guys. I really like it. And then I am also using some Balmy Night Shimmer Spray from Dilutions and some Distress Oxide in Lost Shadow. And so I just went over my T intersection there and sprinkled it where I felt like it would land in that T intersection. And now I am taking a piece of tape, and it's not really washi tape, it's more like a plastic tape, but I really like it, and it's like a clear with black, so it goes over anything. You're not going to see a whole lot of it by the time I'm all done, but it was a place to start, and it looks like she has a horizontal line on hers as well. I am using this burlap background stamp from Tailored Expressions. I'm also using all the grays from Catherine Pooler. One is Hoodie, one is Twilight. We've got Pebble and Slate. And Slate brings in a little bit more of a bluer look to it. And then Pebble is a really light gray. I am also using a grid stamp here. I think it's called Rough Draft background stamp from Tailored Expressions. That one's not available anymore, but I really like it, and so I'm going to use that as well, using the slate color, which veers more towards the blue grays. And I really like the way that this ends up looking, you guys. The mixed media was fairly simple and didn't take a lot of time to dry or anything like that, but you get a really good impact from it, and so I'm pretty happy with the way that it turned out. This is the red paper that I decided to go ahead and punch out of. That is the only full sheet of paper I'm using today aside from the background piece. And this one's been in my stash for a very, very long time. It's kind of got a textile pattern on it. It looks like it's a solid, but it's not. It definitely has a textile. In the close-ups, you'll see it. And I really like the way that it looks. It's the really good match to the color in my husband's shirt. and to my title piece. So using this polka dot paper as well. These are all, like I said, out of the scrap bin. Now, the way that she's got the hexagons lined up, they are tip to tip, so you can't really fit a second one in between them, but you can build off of those two. So I've got two pieces on the left hand side, and then I'm building off of that second piece, and I'm building down and possibly up as well. I do have this little sticker, it says bucket list on it, and I'm matting it on to some white paper because it's out of a sticker book, so it's really thin. I have another one here that says happiness blooms from within. That doesn't make the cut, you guys. I really like it, but it actually really takes the layout to a much more feminine side than what I was going for today. So I'm not going to use that. Instead, I am going to use a bunch of these stars cut out from a piece of scrap paper that has been in my stash for a few years, honestly. And so I'm cutting stars out of that. It takes me a little bit of time. I don't make you sit through cutting out all of the stars, but you get to see the placement of them all. So hopefully that is enough. Really excited to get some stuff out of my stash, out of my scrap bin, I should say. So I do want to cut these stars in different sizes. I am leaving a little tiny white border around all of them just to keep them all uniform. And I like the way that that is looking and going down. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing. Once I get everything placed, I decide I'm going to glue things and just go from there and build. So I am keeping in mind how far out I am going on this layout so that I start with the outermost hexagons so that they are about equal on each side from the edge, and then work my way in, and it seems to work out really well because I don't really need to worry about all of the hexes meeting up in the center because the photograph covers up the center. You're not going to see that where they join anyway. And it just so happens that they actually did meet up. So now I didn't put hexes all the way straight across underneath my photo, but you can see there I've kind of built that little dip down, and they all seem to fit. So I am using a 49 and Market stitching stamp. It is called Gabby's Line Stitch Stamp. And it is really old. I don't know that. I don't think it's available either. And for some reason I grabbed my Memento ink pad. I meant to use my archival ink, but I'm not adding any water, so the Memento is going to work. Also, it's not going to be a big deal. But I just re-inked my archival, and I think it would have stamped a little bit better than either one of the Memento or my Distress ink. So that was why I decided I had wanted to use the archival, but at this point, it's not a big deal. I am using glue dots to adhere this title piece that is from Colorcast Designs. It's been in my stash for a while. In fact, all of my Colorcast stuff has been in my stash for a while. I have my subscription on hold right now because I want to use up some of it and I'm kind of out of room. And so I put a pause on my subscription, and I'm just going to keep working through the pieces that I have for a while until I take that off of hold. So that little bucket list is going to be a little spot to write a little bit about where we're at and what we're doing. This photo was taken in San Francisco on our way over to see Savion Glover perform. And I did a separate layout about Savion for the Blank to Bold 2 mixed media class that MK and I are running. So you're not seeing that because it's class material, exclusive class material. But I did want to document our little walk over to San Francisco, or to the venue. It was about a 2-block walk. It was pretty short. And the walk was interesting to say the least. There were a lot of things to be seen that we really didn't need to see, including lots of tents and some other undesirable things on the street that we didn't need to see. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not really going to be writing about that today. I'm just going to be writing about the bucket list of going to see Savion. The other one I didn't do a lot of journaling on, but I think I'm writing about his actual performance, but this one is about how excited I was to go see this and how my husband had gotten the tickets and everything. So there'll be layouts that go next to each other in my album, about leading up to going to see him, and then about actually seeing him and what we thought of the performance. So it was amazing, by the way. He's an awesome tap dancer, and I don't know, he's got mad skills. So I am just using some foam to pop up some of those stickers at the end of the acrylic piece there, so that it has a little bit of support. I apologize for all the sniffing, you guys. My sinuses are going crazy. We've been working outside and my allergies are off the chart. Anyway, adding a little bit of foam to some of the other stars also, because I don't want the title area to be the only spot that has a little lift. I want some of the other areas to have that as well. And then I'm going over around the edges with some of this ink, and I'm going with my ink pad pretty flat to the paper because I don't want to have like a paper cut on the foam pad of my ink pad. But I just brushed off a little bit of that ink onto the edges to give a little bit of definition around the outside. I kind of like the worn look of it, and I think it looks pretty cool. I'm pulling some tiny phrase stickers from a Tim Holtz set of stickers, and I'm going to take the whole layout over to my sewing machine. I'm going to sew those little word phrases down, and I'm going to put a stitch all the way around the outside of my layout. All of my stitching is going to be done in a light gray, so it's super subtle, not really bold in your face or anything like that, and you'll see those in the close-ups, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you have questions or comments, leave those down below. Don't forget, you can go to the Mixed Media Mayhem Scrapbooking Facebook page, and you can see all of the inspiration in the albums. Go to the album section. You'll see inspiration for the coming weeks, and you can play along as well. And hopefully you can go to the album for today and see more inspiration there, and people who have videos should have their links in there. Also, go and check out what MK is doing on her channel for Color Craze. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.